Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. I literally just went to my first class of this semester. It went pretty well. It was just like, I don't know, towards the end, it was kind of annoying because my professor was like, okay, now turn to the person next to you and like introduce yourself. And I hate like forced interaction. Like if it's like organic and like, we catch each other's eye or like whatever, like it's cool. But like I hate when like a teacher or like whoever just like forces you to like interact. Like, I don't know, it's not organic and it's kind of awkward. Like it always is awkward, but like anyway, so this is going to be a story time about some other awkward experiences I've had. So most of you, if you know like about my past or whatever, I used to work at a hotel. This was like about 2 summers ago because I was taking time off of school and I was in Clemson working as a server. And so after that job ended, I ended up going to a hotel to try to get some like experience because I go to USC in Columbia. For people who don't know, I go to the University of South Carolina in Columbia and I study tourism management, which is basically like the business of travel and destination management and stuff. And so I felt so professional just then, but like, no. So, I thought it'd be like a really good experience. So I went to this hotel and I interviewed with the GM. I applied for the job or whatever. I got the interview and like, I don't know, like looking back, I should have like felt some type of way. So during the interview, it was kind of awkward because it was like with the owner of the hotel because the owners owned like that hotel as well as like some other chains. And it was with her and then it was with the GM. And it was just really awkward how they were conducting the interview because I was having to like bounce in between the two and they were like almost over talking each other, which is like a red flag for a job interview, just so you know, because that means they're not on the same fucking page. So literally they were over talking each other. So I'm like, okay, what is going on? So I ended up getting the job, long story short. And I just remember like, it was so weird. So I was a front desk associate. So I was mostly supposed to be working like mornings, I was told, but it turned out that I was supposed to be working second shift. So I would come in at like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and then I would work until about like midnight or 1 or something like that. But originally when I applied, they told me I was going to be working mostly first, some second. And so then I went to my GM to like clarify after I saw I was scheduled for a second shift. And he was like, oh yeah, you might be working second or third. And I was like, I cannot work third. I'm not doing third. I'm not working overnight. I told him right then and there, like on the first day. So that was like already like, okay, you're not keeping your word. Like you told me this, but you mean something else. So on the first day, literally after the interview and everything, I'm telling him this. And so, I end up getting on second shift, which is like, whatever. I mean, it was annoying. Like, I really didn't have to do that much. Like, I just kind of like checked people in, obviously, like check people out, answer the phone, did bookings, like stuff like that. Like simple. It's not hard. Like, honestly, most of the time I was literally watching fucking YouTube or something in the back office. So it was like super easy in that sense. But otherwise, in other ways, it was annoying. So one of my coworkers was literally this older woman. She had been there for like years and years and years. And she was like super knowledgeable, like honestly more than anybody else. And so she would always know the answers to things. Like the GM had literally just became the GM and he would literally go to her for like answers. So she was like everyone's grandma in a sense, but she was such a fucking bitch. Like she was so rude. Like she literally made me like a book like this fucking thick. Like I kid you not, like a binder, so that I would like know what to do. But like she was just always up my ass. Like if I would do something in a way that was still correct but it wasn't her way, it would be a problem. So it was just annoying as fuck. And I've had like other issues with like older women on jobs like that when I worked at Lowe's and JCPenney and stuff. Like I don't know why it's this like dynamic, but it always ends up being like me versus some old bitch at my job, and it's just like annoying. Like I don't want to be that way, but like she was just always like low-key like a bully. Like I said, she was mean. So if you didn't do it her exact way, she had a problem with you. So she had a problem with me, but she honestly didn't like anybody. And like nobody really liked her. She was just like knowledgeable. So like she wasn't likable. She just knew what she was talking about. So it's whatever. But yeah, I liked all my other coworkers. They were all really nice. Like everybody else was like substantially older than me too. Like I was definitely the youngest person. Like I'm 22 right now. I'll be 23 in like 2 months. And I feel like a crusty bitch. But literally, at the time I was 21. And so like I think the next youngest person was like 34. So I was like easily the youngest person there. So I feel like in a way, sometimes they treated me differently because of that, but it was whatever. And so there was this girl on like the marketing team for the hotel or whatever, and she would do, like big bookings and stuff. So if it was like a railroad company or like say a construction crew or something like that with a bunch of people that were going to be all on like the same bill, so she would usually do that. But she literally was being such a bitch this one day. Like I don't even know why, because I thought this girl liked me, and this was her job, not mine. She made me go and enter like 150 different like customers like details, like their name, last name, like contact information, address, like all this stuff, like individually. So I had to go through 150 different accounts, make sure everything looked good, on top of like my like other duties of answering the phone, checking people in, checking people out, doing pricing, all this other stuff. So like literally she just added me like a whole new job onto my like list of like daily activities. So I was like, fuck that day. And it was just stuff like that they would throw on me that was not fair. And another thing is like at nighttime when I would work by myself, and they threw me to the wolves after like a few days. Like I was there by myself, and when I mean I was there by myself, if someone needed like towels, if someone needed like a room thing, like something in their room, I had to go do it. So I was like the only like staff member on site from like about 4 or 5 to like midnight. And then after that, there was like one person like, overnight. But it was just annoying. It was not safe at all. And like, people would always comment on like the fact that I was working by myself. And I'm like, no, nobody else is here. Like, it's just like whatever. And like it was safe because like the police station was like nearby. And then this will come into play later in the story, because the fact that the police station was nearby was actually really fucking good. So literally like, that was good. But like, other than that, it was kind of unsafe feeling. And especially like the back patio out back was like really dark. So like if you went out there for like any reason, it was just kind of scary and sketch at night. And so I avoided that, and I would usually just kind of stay like right there. And if someone needed like towels, I would just explain to them that I was the only person on site, and if they could come down, I could give that to them. So like that was kind of annoying. And so I was just putting situations like that, that were kind of like unsafe and uncomfortable for me. And so I just remember, there was this one day where like my boss, he was being such a fucking jackass. Like my GM, he was like an older man, and we had originally like connected because I go to USC, he went to Coastal Carolina. They used to be like part of the same school system. So we had like a like little like thing about that. But I mean, other than that, he was kind of like annoying sometimes. Like I would like not know like how to do something, because again, I was thrown to the wolves after like days. And then that old lady had like given me that thick ass book, and like it told you step by step what to like do for like each situation, like checking people in, doing this, doing that. But it was just like a lot. And honestly, like nobody's gonna look through like a book like this thick, sorry. So I prefer to like learn hands-on, and nobody was really giving me that. And honestly, he couldn't have fucking taught me anyway, because he had just started like a week before I had like got hired. I found out later. So he didn't even know what he was talking about. And then also like, it's just so annoying how this ended up happening. So how the job ended up like being like over for me. So I had literally only worked there for like about a month and a half, and it was a like evening shift like it normally was. And I just remember there were a lot of people being checked in. It was like really busy for like an evening, because the times I had worked like the morning shift, it was like usually like more busy, but it wasn't like, this was like a peculiar day. Like it was super busy. And I just remember lots of people were coming in and out. And I just remember it was two guys that came in, and I just remember like out of the corner of my eye, I was up at the desk like typing, doing my little job or whatever. And so I just remember seeing these guys in like the corner of my eye, and I thought they were like talking to each other, because I'm just looking at like my peripheral vision. And so I hear like a sound, like a sound, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I know that sound like at 7 a.m. in the cafeteria in the morning. So I went over, and this dude just decked this other dude. So apparently, like, while I thought they were talking, they were like up in each other's face and shit. And I didn't realize that. So they start fighting. I started screaming because I don't know what the fuck to do. So I ended up calling the police. They go like on the patio. They like disappear. And like literally, I kid you not, y'all, like not even 2 minutes pass, and the police like barge through the fucking front door of like the hotel. And literally like it's like 6 of them. So they're like all out front, fucking like sirens, lights flaring, whatever. And literally like they're looking around the building, and these guys were fucking gone. And so literally like there's some other hotel guests that were outside, and they said those men were literally still fucking fighting, and apparently one like ran away and the other one chased after him. Like what the actual fuck? So it has scared me, it has scared the guests, we're all scared. So at this point I call my GM, and it's about like maybe like 11:30, because like he was gonna come in and cover for the like overnight girl at like midnight, and it was like 11:30, and I don't know why he was still fucking asleep, because he needed to get his ass like to work, because literally like I called him and you could tell like I just woke him up, and like he thought I was, so earlier in the night, I should have said this, so earlier in the night I had called him about trying to find this like little booklet that has like numbers for like different like things or whatever. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, I was looking for something earlier in the night, and I had called him, and I guess he thought I was calling back to like ask again, and he was like, just look in the drawer. And I literally, in that moment, I had literally just been scared. I was literally upset. I saw someone get decked. I was literally like scared, and I was just like really over the job at this point because of like all the other stuff I said, and also like having to be put in a like dangerous situation. Like, I don't even know what to do in that. Like, I'm 5'3". I'm not a big person. Like, I'm not going to get in between two men. I'm not doing it. I shouldn't even like have been there by myself as a female at fucking nighttime like that. But that's a whole different story. There should be security and like at least one other person. Like, I feel like there should always be at least two people on site, but that's a different, situation. But anyway, I ended up quitting because of that, because honestly, at this point, I felt like, I was calling him to tell him what had just happened, and my safety was in jeopardy at that moment. And I just felt unsafe, honestly. And like, I was really pissed off, you guys, because I had called him to tell him, because he was the GM, and if something like this happened, we are supposed to call and tell them. Typically if you work in a hotel, because you usually are by yourself or at least one other person, so usually end up calling the GM because they're over everything, obviously. So I did that, and he just really made me feel like awful for calling him to tell him that a fight had just happened. I had to do a whole police report and everything, and after that I just fucking quit. Like, I didn't go back because it's not worth it. Like, honestly, like, he made me feel bad about myself for like calling for help. I was scared. I had never been put in a situation like that before. So I was just really like nervous and scared, and just the way he made me feel was just not the exact opposite, honestly, of how I would want my GM. And I'm studying to be like a general manager because my degree is in management, and I would not want that from someone. Obviously, I know everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, but if your emotional like intelligence and your empathy is so low that you genuinely don't care that your like employee was just scared to fucking death by two men fighting. I mean, fighting, like there was blood on the floor, like they were like fighting, y'all. So it just makes me angry that like I wasn't taken seriously or like being comforted or like, being tried to like calm down. He just was being a fucking jerk. And honestly, I'm not working for someone like that. So I blocked his number. He tried to like message me. I was done with it. Like, no, because nobody wanted to work the job, because like it was some bullshit, because literally the owners were annoying too, and they were weird about hours and just lots of stuff, you guys. So it just wasn't worth it. And long story short, I'm a lot fucking happier now. I could care less about that job. If anything, I just laugh about it because it's just like weird. Like, just all the stuff that happened was like unnecessary. And I liked the job until they started like treating me like the rookie because I was so young, and they started making me like do things that was not my job, like the 150 like data entries for those like people on the marketing team and just stuff like that that's not my job. So I hate jobs like that. Like, I do believe that some things are not your job. It depends on the nature of what work you're doing. But yeah, so that's the end of that story. Like, it's not too long, not too dramatic. Hope it didn't hurt you. Hope you loved it. For some reason, I've been like, I don't know, I've been feeling weird today. Like, my head's kind of foggy. I think it's because I low-key just don't want to go to class, and it's cold as fuck. Like, literally on the way to class, like, my hands were like fucking shaky. Like, it was hurting my hands. It was so cold, like bone chilling. So I'm not really looking forward to like it getting colder, but I hope you enjoyed this story. It was really an interesting experience working in a hotel. I don't really know if I would like recommend it. It's just one of those situations where like you go and you think it's gonna be like this, and it ends up being this, and so it's just like, like, like a catfish job opportunity. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you love this story. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I love that. It's definitely helping my channel grow. You all know I do this for fun, but it is cool to like see other people that I don't know enjoying my content. So I'm happy that you're here if we're not like personally friends, but I hope we can become friends. And so yeah, I hope you're enjoying it, and please do like keep returning. I'm having a really good time doing this. I'm probably gonna do an upload schedule. Honestly, I think I'm gonna do Mondays and Wednesdays. That works best with my class schedule right now. And I'm trying to find like a server job too. So I think it'll just end up being best if it's like Monday and Wednesday, because it's kind of like early in the week. So I think I'm gonna do that. But yeah,